Democracy. Democracy. Why is that such a powerful word? Well, it's because we as citizens get to vote for our leaders and their policies. It's kind of our American tradition. But unlike Oregonians, most Americans go to a poll to vote. And they go there and they vote independently and in private. But on that day when we're supposed to be making the most important decisions for our country, we see people standing in lines. In Florida alone, it's estimated that 210,000 people were frustrated by the lines and went home without voting. But what if you're a disabled person and you get to the polls, but your disability doesn't allow you to vote? By law, they're supposed to have an accessible machine at each voting place. Well, tell that to the blind voter from California who went to her poll to vote, thinking that this was the right thing to do, and was told that because the accessible machine did not work, she should walk to the next poll. The estimates are that there's somewhere between 15 and 18 million people who have some sort of disability that would keep them from voting. Now, my name is John Schmitt. My father was injured in a car accident in 1968. Can you imagine what it took to get my dad in my mother's two-door Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme to go anywhere? We didn't have minivans back then. Things have changed a lot, but it's still very burdensome and cruel to require a disabled person to have to go to a poll to vote. So why don't we change the paradigm? Most places, the people go to the ballot. In Oregon, the ballot comes to the voter. We're really lucky to live in a vote-by-mail state. We get to sit down on a Saturday at the kitchen table with our cup of coffee next to our voter guide and fill out our ballot. Now, we have to fill out the ballot, sign it, mark it, and stick it into a secrecy envelope that we take to the library or put in the mail. But what about a disabled person? Well, my company built an alternate format ballot for the state of Oregon about 6 years ago. And so we have an HTML ballot and we have a large format ballot. And the HTML ballot can be marked just like any internet form, and disabled people can use their computers at home to do that. Now, what about a blind voter? The blind voters can use their screen readers that are already on their laptops, their iPads, etc. The screen readers like JAWS and VoiceOver and things like that. Now, the ballot can also be used by just tabbing and using the space bar to vote. So people that have dexterity issues with their fingers can use what are called jelly beans, or they can use a sip and pup device. Now, we designed the package so that it would also have a summary that would print out. This is not internet voting. The summary needs to be put in the same secrecy envelope that everyone else uses, signed and sent in or taken to the library. We designed the ballots so that they were used for disabled people, but it turns out that overseas and military can also use it because they can download the ballot from the state site. Now, who else can use this? It turns out that we had between 20 and 30 Oregonians who were stuck on the East Coast during Hurricane Sandy, and they were able to use the alternate format ballot to vote. Well, I kind of look at these ballots as if they were curb cuts. You know, cities lowered the curbs so that people in handicapped chairs or wheelchairs could pass. Well, it turns out that we all benefit. Moms with strollers and kids on bikes use it. Even the UPS guy uses it. In Oregon last year, we had a 103-year-old woman use her large format ballot to vote at home. Can you imagine how proud she felt of that?